Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Camping Adventure by TinkerTroy. These rules are a little bit strange, so I'm going to try to go over them slowly. I also need to learn them myself, so here we go. We do, of course, have normal Sudoku rules, so in every row, every column, and every 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. Okay, so now we have a trees and tents rule, and I'm going to go over this slowly, and I'm going to make sure I understand it as well. So first, just to go a little bit out of order, the caged cells that have a number on them, those are trees. So every tree has a number, like this is 11, this is 6, etc. What we're going to be doing is placing a tent orthogonally adjacent to each tree. So we might place a tent here, for example. So this tree may have this tent. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make both of these cells add to the tree's sum, this 11. So maybe we'd have 5 here and 6 here, and that would sum to 11. And so now that we've placed a tent here, no other tent may be orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to this tent. So we wouldn't be allowed to put a tent. We're also not putting tents on trees. So we wouldn't be allowed to put a tent in, let's use a darker gray, in any of these cells. So this is the tent. It's connected to this tree. So we maybe we'll use like a line to show the pair there. And then the gray cells are the ones where we're no longer allowed to put a tent in. But we can put a tent next to multiple trees. So we could put a tent here, for example. We also have clues outside the grid. So the clues outside the grid give the count of how many tents are in that row or column. So this 1 means that there's 1 tent in this row. It doesn't count trees. We already know where the trees are. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. If it's not, maybe listen through again. Maybe it'll click. You can read the rules here as well. But yeah, those are the rules, and I'm going to get started right now. Okay, so we know that this tree needs a 5 next to it somewhere, or a 6, and it itself is 5, 6. Same with this 11. 10 has to be 4, 6. Okay, 4 needs to be 1, 3. So what we're going to be doing here is in one of these cells, we're going to be putting the other 1, 3, right? And that'll add to 4. Let's see. So we have, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 trees. I should expect these both to add to 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So this is giving us all of the tents. Each tree has a tent. Okay, so where's this tree getting a tent from? It can't come from the adjacent trees. So it gets a tent from here. So one of these is a tent. And then the other tent is in one of these two. I'm not sure if that's enough. Okay, there's 2 tents in this row. There we go. There's 2 tents in this row. We know tents aren't allowed to be orthogonally adjacent. So one of them is here, but the other one is here. This is a tent. So I'm gonna give that a. But what if I put a circle there for tent, so that I know there's a tent there. Now I don't know if it goes with the 9 or with the 4. Good question. Okay, and then we have a tent in one of these two, which no matter where it goes, it's gonna go with the 11. So we have 5 and 6 used up over here. So I can actually corner mark 5s and 6s here to say, hey, there's going to be a 5, 6 here, or there's going to be a 5, 6 here. So 5 and 6 are used. So how are we going to add to 6 here? Because we're either 1, 5 or 2, 4. So this is only 1, 2, or 4. It could still be 1, 5 if we had, say, a 5 here or a 5 here. It doesn't feel like enough to go on. We can mark 5, 6 up here as well if we want. Okay, there are 2 tents here. Okay, so if we want 2 tents to be here, they're gonna be here. Because they have to be next to a tree. We have to tie them to a tree. So This is not a tent. I'm going to use gray for not a tent. For sure not a tent. We have a tent here, right? And so this is for sure not a tent, and this is for sure not a tent. And this is not a tent because we can't have one diagonal to it either. So this row needs a tent. This can't be the tent because it can't be the 5-6 that goes with this 5-6 because the 5-6 is down here. So this can't be a tent because if it was, it would be the tent for that. Tents have to be orthogonally adjacent, right? Yeah, good. I was hoping if that was wrong, I probably would have had to revisit this stuff, but I guess the 2 was still accurate. Anyway, but yeah, so we can't put a tent here because it's not next to a tree. I should probably mark everywhere that's just simply not orthogonal to any trees because they can't be tents because we have nowhere to tie them to. This can't be a tent. This one could be. Okay, so one of these two is the 5-6 that goes with this one. All right, so this is the one tent for this row. This one here. And it attaches to this one. So we have the tent and then we have the attachment. So this needs to add to 6 with this. So it's either 1-5 or 2-4. And then the last tent in the column is here or here. We have a tent in one of these two. Okay, so if there's a tent in one of these two, this can't be a tent because if it was, it would be orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to the one here. So if this guy's going to get a tent, it's going to be from here or here. Still doesn't really help, does it? Actually, there's something interesting here. So if this gets its tent from the row, right? If these have a tent like this, then this tent goes like that. Otherwise, it gets its tent from the column, in which case there's now a 5-6 pair in here. This wouldn't be able to be the other 5-6 tent, so we'd be doing this. Either way, we make a 5-6 pair in this box because either there's a tent here or there's a tent here. So one of these is a tent, first of all. Second of all, it makes a 5-6 pair in the box. So they both touch this one. This is never a tent, and this has to be a 4. So it needs to find a 6 to be next to, but it's not going to go here because we either have a 5-6 pair here or this one's connected to this one and it's a 5-6 pair. So its 6 comes from here, and this is its tent. And that gives us the 5 here. And now there's a 6 in the column already, so this cannot be this guy's tent. This guy's got to get a tent from here. That finishes the row, and also these are adjacent to it. This is the 6. And then now we know this is a 5-6 pair with this being this guy's tent. Okay. This can't be a tent because it's diagonal. Oh, and neither of these can be tents because those are diagonal. We need 2 tents in this row. This has to be one of them because we can't put them next to each other. That makes sense anyway because the 7 needed a tent. We can't use 5 or 6, so we can't do 1-6 or 2-5. So this is a 3-4 pair. So this is a 1-2 pair, and this is a 3-4 pair, and we know the order. This is not a 4, so that's not a 2. Okay, that was good progress. Oh, of course, the other tent's here. The tree is not a tent. So it's connected to this 7. It can't be 3-4, so it's either 1-6 or 2-5. It can't be 3-4 because it would break this cell. Cool, that's good progress. We have 2 tents in this row, so one of them's over here. Oh, we have 1 tent in this row. There's only 1 spot for it. And it can't connect up, so it's going to connect down to this 9. This is not a tent. And then these add to 9. The only ways are 4, 5, and 3, 6. So 3, 6 could go either way. 4, 5 only goes this way. Let's fill 1, 2, 3 here. This is a 1 or 2. These are 1, 2, but it can't be 3, 4, and then they can be 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 5 for the box. So 5s are here, 3s are here. Okay. So this can't be 1 or 2. Actually, this can't be 1 or 2. That's more interesting because the 7 sum must contain a 1 or a 2, and this is the other one. So between these, we have what's called a virtual 1, 2 pair. So this needs to be a 5. So this is not 2, 5. This is 1, 6. This is the 2. That's a 1. That's a 1. These are not 1s. I'm not sure if I am solving this the intended way, but I'm having fun. Well, we need 2 10s here, so one of them's here. It connects to this 9, so this connects here. So this is a 1, 3 pair. That means this is a 4 with a 2. This has to be a 5, 6 pair now. We have 1 and 2 here. This can't be a 4. That is to 9, so that's not a 5. So that leaves a 3, 6 pair. So this 9 has to be 4, 5. We know the order. That resolves these. Do we have all our tens? I think we do. Everything's gray except our tens. Okay. I'm going to clear out the gray now because we have all our tens. Let's just double check. 1 here, 2 here, 1 here, 2 here, 1 here, 2 here. Nice. Okay. And there should just be Sudoku to do from here. We do need a 1 and a 2 here. We know the order. That resolves this order as well. Here we need 3 or 4. It has to be the 3. And then we need 2, 5, and 4 here. So the 2 goes here, the 4 goes here, the 5 goes here. Oh, no embedded solution. Okay, the link I give you will have a solution. Don't worry about that. But hopefully this is the correct one. But yeah, cool puzzle, TinkerTroy. Definitely a bit mind-bending, for sure. But yeah, it wasn't too bad, to be honest. I feel like I probably missed some trivial things while I was looking at some less trivial things, but I kept moving. I didn't ever get stuck, so that was pretty neat. It's cool when a puzzle has multiple places that you can look and make progress, because that means you generally don't get stuck. Hopefully you didn't find this too difficult. I think it's a neat one. And so yeah, thank you, TinkerTroy, and I hope you enjoyed this content. And if you did, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.